This video is about dealing with Fergus. Okay, it's not the heaviest and the craziest of the build. But while dealing with, like the granny, I went with a stronger color. With Fergus, also I'll go with a stronger color because it's very roster driven. So I'm going to go with not having the latest heroes of the last 1 year. I have very few heroes of the last 1 year, which means there is limitation in terms of roster. Otherwise, when you start looking at him, what's his claim to fame? The mega minion that he starts with that adds beef and damage. Then you have this mana status. He gains 5% mana for every ailment or negative stack he gets. And there are automated negative stacks that are possible, which means he starts speeding up. He receives his 5% mana. He's technically average speed or even very fast speed. Depends on him being in defense. So defense gives him certain mana and a whole host of other stuff. So I leave the calculations to the people who want to go into the decimal calculation. But indicatively, him being slow speed is a deception because this benefit comes in, this, and then he has this. His mana cannot be reduced. So he has that passive. Now we look at it from the perspective, what does he do? He takes away 70% of the reduces mana of the enemy with the most mana by 70%, and the rest of the fellows lose 40%, which means 40% mana loss is significant. And then he slows them down with an ailment for 6 turns. The reason he's slow speed. That's the big bullshit that the game has put forward, that he's not slow speed. He just looks slow speed, but in terms of experience, we all have experience what slow speed is. But these days, heroes that are slow speed are not as slow as the heroes when the game was 1, 2, 3, 4, or even to an extent 5 or 6 years old. So the first 5 to 6 years, slow speed was actually slow speed, and the only claim to fame was that you will get some kind of a benefit. Mainly, I'm talking about most heroes. There were some family bonuses, but most heroes, they needed help from the troops. Okay, but the last year, last 2 years, if you start looking at, the passives have been really rampant, and this fellow carries 2. His mana cannot be reduced, and he gets mana. So, with my roster, I'll go with the color that is strong against him. If I don't get the tiles, whatever be the situation, I still will not. So that's the stuff that I wanted to talk about Fergus. The deception that is built into the card and what makes him extremely strong. Another factor you'll notice is bad board. He gets supercharged because he's a tank and tiles go straight into him, and then his crazy special comes into play and shuts you down. Okay, so whatever I spoke about Fergus in that team did not work out. We will do this. Now over here, when you look at it, there's a good number of tiles that exist. Can this knock? Yes. So that has removed him. The first one I want to remove is this. So let's go here. Because she's going to heal. I have no interest in your heal, sweetie. No healing business. Now the effort is to start to get Gazelle charged. Glad he went where he went. So my mega minion is left alone. Then it's wrap up time. Couldn't get him. So we should be able to take her. Well, the mega minion will take care of her. As you can very clearly see how Fergus can be taken out using the stronger color. So my strategy team. I've got 2 elemental defense down, tangoing together. I've got a sniper and armament. Gazelle is in the mix to help in case she charges up. Then Fergus's ailment at least doesn't go, even though he steals the mana. And then, of course, my tiles become nuclear and cause absolute havoc, even if heroes are not charging or they have lost their mana. So there you go. That's my strategy. Cheers. Good luck.